In reality, the sensitive coexistence between Israelis and Palestinians is an island of the stability which is not dependent on politics. And therefore it has great significance for any future peace agreement. A fifth of the Palestinian workforce around Judea and Samaria is employed in Israeli factories and businesses, and over 20% of them are employed in Judea and Samaria. Around Judea and Samaria, there are 14 industrial areas with 800 factories and Israeli businesses which employ 22,000 Palestinians. According to the Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics, these workers' wages are twice to 3 times the average wage amongst the Palestinian workers. They also enjoy other wage benefits. If you take into consideration the family social structure of the Palestinians, these workers provide a living for about 100,000 Palestinians. The labelling law is a real accurate threat, not only to the factories and businesses in Judea and Samaria, but mainly for tens of thousands of Palestinian workers and their families, and this threat is already taking place. In the Barkan industrial area, located beyond the 1967 Green Line, Jews and Palestinians have worked together for years in incredible coexistence. Shamir Salads, which has been operating in this location for 30 years, employs around 100 Palestinians. Now the factory owner is afraid that he will have to fire Palestinian workers because the export will decrease following the EU labelling decision.
If I would have to reduce the manufacture quantity, or if it would become drastic in a way that I would have to relocate this factory, in the end, the 100 Palestinian workers and 50 others around who made a living from our production here would be hurt and would be out of work. Just for example, there was here the Bagel and Bagel factory which belongs to Unilever. Unilever, exactly out of this reason, not willing to keep and having their factory in Barkan, relocated their factory to Tzfat, and they fired 100 workers. Many of them knocked on our factory doors seeking for work.
The Palestinian workers at Shamir Salads appreciate the condition today and are afraid of their future following these decrees.
Shamir Salads delivers lots of its productions abroad. Once the work decreases, he will have to cut down in the number of workers. We would have nothing to do. We would be out of work. There would not be much work to do here, and many people would go home. I have been working here for 20 years. If I want to work here, where would I work? I have no other place to go to.
SodaStream company, which was located until half a year ago in Mishor Adumim, beyond the Green Line, employed 600 Palestinian workers and contributed significantly to the Palestinian economy.
We were the larger employer of Palestinians in the world, private employer. And eventually we moved the factory for business reasons. We're still trying to employ as many of them as we can. We currently have about 100. I'd love to employ more. But for those Palestinians, the job was life. Each one of them provided sustenance to 10 people. And how do we know that? Because we purchased for them health insurance for their families, so we know their dependents. And the health insurance was incredible. It included elective surgery and the physician to your home and even organ transplants. We treated these Palestinians as family, with equal wages and benefits and rights and opportunities as our Israeli employees.
For many years, SodaStream CEO Daniel Birnbaum was one of the main manufacturers who struggled against the products being labelled. Birnbaum claims that the EU decision will hurt only the Palestinians, who will be fired exactly like the SodaStream ones.
The whole boycott movement, and now the extension of the boycott movement, which is the labeling law, it's the same, has not impacted our business at SodaStream whatsoever, to be clear. But it has impacted the livelihoods of hundreds of Palestinians who are now unemployed. And there will be more Palestinians unemployed as a consequence of this labeling law. So it's really a foolish law. It serves nothing to help the Palestinians.
The EU aim is to promote future peace between the Palestinians and Israelis, and the way leading there is to neutralize the intensity between the two people. The right approach would be to strengthen the connection between them rather than to separate them.
All people should embrace the concept of coexistence. We should be optimistic. We should find opportunities to bridge the gaps and not punish either side, and not even deepen the hate and celebrate the hate. And that's what the labeling does. It celebrates and deepens and creates a rift. Not good.
Rather than forcing Israelis and Palestinians to disintegrate through initiatives like the labeling law, practical steps should be undertaken to further more economic collaboration between Israelis and Palestinians.
So I would encourage our friends in Europe who care, who want to make the world a better place and embrace the concept of tikkun olam, betterment of the world, to join us. Let's do this. Let's shed light on the darkness. Let's bring people together.